And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Thursday, October 12th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's a Thursday morning. We welcome you to our program. And, of course, we always welcome our friend from Bates Ford at this time. This morning, Paul Tubbs is with us. He's the general manager. Ronnie Kelly's here in sales. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ronnie.
Good morning.
All right. Well, what's the good word?
We're moving right along. Me and Tony had a little commercial shoot over at the new facility. We've actually got a pretty meeting today to kind of determine our hopefully move-in date. We're, that like I've said all along, the air conditioner units had us delayed due to the fact that they were on back order, but we have all of them in. The facility's got a controlled environment, so we're finishing up the showroom. So fingers crossed, hopefully within the next 30 days, we'll be over off 1780 Franklin Road doing business.
Well, I looked over there as I was coming back from Nashville late yesterday afternoon. It's got Bates Ford up there now. You can see that.
Man, that place is remarkable. I mean, it's a blessing. It's so neat the way that it faces the interstate. When you come over the interstate, if you're coming from Lebanon over Hartman Drive, the way you can see it, and if you're getting off the interstate, then when you pull in from Franklin Road, we made it kind of a double front. That's actually the back of service department that faces Franklin Road. But I really like the way that it looks from the interstate side and all that. It's just unbelievable.
Very easily observed.
Yeah, and it's state of the art. The service department is top notch. We've got all the latest equipment. We've got at our facility now, I think I counted, we had 17 racks. We got 38 racks, so that's going to be more beneficial for our customers, so we can get more service customers in and out. And of course, our sales, we actually over at 1673 West Main, we kind of got our lot full, because we were anticipating being over there already. Mm-hmm. So Ford's upped our allocation, giving us a lot more vehicles. And then, of course, Mr. Bates went crazy one day and got about 40 vehicles he bought at the auction. So we're getting there. We're just moving right along.
What do you got to say about that, Ronnie?
Well, it's great because we do have a lot of inventory right now, and we got a lot of great deals. And we got so much inventory, we can't hardly get around a lot ourselves, plus our service cars. But one good thing about it, we got a lot of great new inventory. Yep. And F-150s and used vehicles. Like Paul said, he bought several. And we got a variety of many different vehicles. So,
generally speaking, if you have a bigger inventory, new and pre-owned, does that mean you're probably going to make more sales?
Yes, we're going to have to make more sales because we're going to have what a lot of people need and what they want. And plus, by having the new vehicles, we get a lot of great used vehicles, so we can have some pre-owned vehicles that we traded for. Will be great.
Yeah. Well, it's all happening right now at 1673 West Main, but in fact, give me that new address. I'll write it down right here on my...
1780 Franklin Road.
1780 Franklin Road.
Yeah, and the zip's 37090 there instead of 087.
Oh, you get to change the zip code.
Yeah, I gave one of the vendors that was sending stuff, I gave him the 087, so I learned that the hard way. It is 090. I figured that out.
Well, I know you're looking forward to this, and maybe after today you'll draw a line in the sand and say, this is it, and this is the day we'll officially be open there.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people were wondering. I've had lots of people ask me about the location, the 1673 West Main. Mr. Bates didn't own that facility. That was kind of the reason we were outgrowing that facility. And the Burchett family actually owns that, who's been gracious enough to work with us and really good. But they'll be the ones that will be selling it. It doesn't have anything to do with Bates Ford. Mr. Bates already owned the property over off Franklin Road, and that was kind of what bit into our decision to build a new facility.
Well, we'll get to something else in just a minute with you, Paul, but Ronnie, I always like to let you if you got anything really special you'd like to get rid of today, you'd like to get rid of all of them. But,
yes, but we got a great deal on F-150. We got some great interest rates. We have a great selection, which is something that's great. And another great thing about it, even though we have all the inventory that he purchased, we're still the dealer that will trade for anything that don't eat. If you have anything that you want to turn into cash, bring it down to Bates Ford, and we'll see what we can do.
I just knew you were going to say that, and I just realized I didn't say it when we began, but I'll say it now. The dealer that'll trade for anything that don't eat.
And one thing I want to kind of jump in here and say, as far as vehicles, we have a very hard to find these dually. A lot of the construction and business owners and stuff are looking for the the F-350 dually. We got a brand new black one on the lot. We got a 450 used. So them vehicles for the companies and stuff, we have a lot of interest in that. Actually, we had a 450 that didn't even last 24 hours. We had probably 8 or 10 people trying to buy. So we do have a couple of dual-wheeled vehicles that if you're interested, come down and look at.
All right. Talk quickly about oil changes, tires, and batteries.
Yeah, oil change $39.95 up to 5 quarts. We got 6 or 7 guys that do that all day long. So if you want to get your oil changed, don't feel like you have to call, make an appointment. One of the things we're doing heavily is the pickup delivery. If you want to get your car serviced, call Bates Ford. We'll come get it, do the service, bring it back to you so we can actually pick up and deliver your vehicle. We're doing some mobile service where we can come out, certain recalls. We're not doing oil changes off-site, but we're doing a lot of recalls, batteries, bulbs, things like that. Tires, we'll meet or beat anybody's price on tires. As you know, yours rode good to Florida, didn't they?
That's right.
Nice and smooth. We give life.
Battery's still good.
Your car started the whole time. So your tires rode smooth and your battery started. Now, we give lifetime rotation when you buy tires. Our batteries will beat anybody's price on the batteries. Right now, they're $159.95. They got a 3-year unlimited warranty, and they got a 3-year free replacement warranty, and then a 100-month proration. So we got a lot of great deals, and our new service department at the new facility is going to be much bigger to accommodate more customers.
All right, Ronnie, you want everybody to come see you, right?
Yes, when everybody come down to Bates Ford.
All right. Thank y'all. We'll see you next Thursday.
Thank you.
Okay, Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, the dealer to trade for anything you don't eat. Thank you, Paul Tubbs. Thank you, Ronnie Kelly. All right, we're 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes now after the hour, and this is the Thursday that we feature the Lebanon Police Department. And from the Police Department, Officer Richard Clark is with us. Good morning.
Morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. And we have Zach Patton with us as well this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's good to see you. Good to be back.
How are things with you?
Can't complain. It's been a busy October for the Lebanon Police Department.
Well,
but it's been
I
fun.
think if we could, I'd like to address something that happened. I think it was earlier this week, just off the square. I'm sure you are acquainted with that enough to tell us briefly what happened, Officer Clark.
We did. We had an incident just south of the square. Company ended up, they were just doing maintenance on their building, and one of the barrels caught fire over there. And due to the chemical in the barrel and the wind direction, we ended up evacuating the square for the safety of the public. And honestly, it went a little quicker than I expected it to be when we first got out there. But I know it kind of made a little bit of a hindrance for people.
Well, now, the danger here was from some chemicals, wasn't it?
Yes.
Breathing fumes or something, or what?
Well, I mean, you don't want, especially at the time, we didn't know what the chemical was when we showed up, but when you don't want anyone inhaling that, or if it ends up irritating anyone's skin or any of that nature. So it was just safer, and we went off what the fire department and WEMA and everybody was suggesting for us to do.
How long did that last?
We were out there probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then it took a little longer for cleanup efforts just on the fire department's end, cleaning up their material.
As far as we know, nobody's hurt, no damage other than maybe what it did at the company there.
No injuries that I know of are reported, no property damage. So I mean, that's the good outcome, is no one was hurt.
But a situation like that, you have to act quickly, and you're in protect mode, no doubt.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep, and we got out the notification pretty quick. So, if you want to be notified, be sure that you're following our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff next door. That's where you can be, the most up-to-date notified when something like that happens. So,
well, what else is going on?
We got everything going on. It's October and the Fall Fest, and we just had National Night Out, which was a great success. We had a lot of fun. I felt like we had a great turnout with it being fall break. I was a little nervous about that, but we really did, and we appreciate all of our other partners in the county that showed up to support that event. And
that's really a good time to see you maybe in a different role or different mode or whatever. You're not policing, or you're there to have a good time and meet people, really, aren't you?
We are, and that's one of the great things, is you do get to see that side of a law enforcement or a firefighter, whatever your choice was to come and speak to that night. But you see the human side of us, and that get that little bit one-on-one moment instead of, the quick call, we're talking to you and we're getting out of there.
You probably ate a hot dog with a few people.
I won't lie, I did.
I did too. I won't lie.
Well, I tell you what, we're maybe a minute early here, but let's go ahead. If MJ is ready, we'll take our break right here. We'll continue our discussion regarding the Lebanon Police Department right here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have a deal designed to keep you ahead of schedule. Check out the world's #1 selling compact excavator plus 0% financing. It's going on now until the end of the year. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still running slow from Kingston Springs from an earlier wreck on 40 eastbound. There around mile marker 188. Keep that in mind coming in from Dixon County this morning. There's a bit of a delay there through that section of Cheatham County on 40 eastbound in Kingston Springs. Traffic's heavy, 24, no surprise. Leaving Murfreesboro headed towards Nashville. It's busy, but it's moving out of Wilson County through Mount Juliet into Hermitage, going westbound I-40, especially there up by Central Pike. Hey, enjoy Smoky Mountain Fall Festival going on now through the end of the month at Ober-Gatlinburg. Check it out, obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Tracy Pope with Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Thank you, WANT 98.9 FM, for being an essential business for entertainment, programming, and news in Wilson County. Congratulations on 30 successful years.
This is Philip Craighead. I would like to wish WANT FM 98.9 a happy 30th anniversary.
This is Tommy Bryan, voice of Blue Devil football, wishing WANT and WCOR a happy 30th anniversary.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
I'm Michael Starr, a licensed local insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Lebanon, Tennessee. Choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing. Let me help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 615-830-4875 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment, virtually, by phone, or in person, to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll.
Everyone is busy, and you certainly have more to think about than insurance. THW Insurance understands. As an independent agent, THW offers coverage from select companies to make sure you have the right protection for your home, auto, and business. One of these fine companies is Westfield Insurance. Contact us today so you can get back to what really matters, you and your family. Call THW Insurance at 615-443-3849.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday morning. I'm the Information Officer from the Lebanon Police Department, Officer Richard Clark, and Officer Zach Patton with us. Zach, you're an officer, right?
No, I'm a civilian, but I'm a public information officer.
I
know.
You wanted to be sure we got something in, so let's get it in right now.
Yeah, so the Lebanon Police Department is hiring dispatchers right now. So if you feel like you want to come be a public servant and or maybe interested in seeing a different side of law enforcement, we are hiring dispatchers. We have a great group of dispatchers right now. They're very close-knit, and honestly, they are the front line between an emergency and getting it out to our officers, because you got to think when you call, they're the ones that answer.
What are you looking for? The person has to have certain qualifications, and it can be very hectic at times, and be able to work under pressure.
Yeah, it can be an intense job, because you've got to be really skilled in multitasking, because you're dealing with a computer, you're dealing with the radio, you're dealing with phones, you're trying to type, you're trying to send out officers to scene. So you do have to be somewhat proficient in multitasking and how to deal with a computer.
If those that you hire, if somebody's had some experience, would that maybe give them a little bit leg up here on getting a job?
That's always looked at when we're hiring people and things like that. But we have great dispatchers, and they can train you too. So if you don't have experience, and you fit the qualifications, and you feel like you can do that, I promise you can be trained.
What's the easiest way to apply?
So you can go to LebanonTN.org, go to jobs, and there's a job portal, and it should be up. It is up already, or you can go to our social medias, and we'll have something up here pretty soon about it.
All right. Well, Officer Clark, I know you've got a lot of events you want to talk about. We got about 11 minutes. We'll fill up the rest of the time if we need it.
We do have a lot of events. Starting this evening, we're actually going to be out Mount Juliet at their safety night. So, I mean, with all the events coming up right now, if you want an opportunity to come and see any of us or just say hello, just take that opportunity because there's plenty coming up. Like I said, tonight, Mount Juliet from 4 to 8, we'll be there. They're actually doing a sensory hour, the first hour. And so it's a great opportunity for kids with sensory issues to come out and interact with us. But after that, we've got football games, still football season. So get that opportunity to come and interact with us at football games.
Well, I think most of the teams in Wilson County were off last week.
I believe you're right.
And, we got a big one with Lebanon and Mount Juliet this week.
This Friday. And
Gallatin and Wilson Central is also playing tomorrow, so that'll be a big game for Central.
And then after that, we got a couple more home games the next couple weeks. Halloween's coming. That's going to be a very busy time for us. There's multiple trunk or treat events. You got Halloween at the square, so you'll get to see a lot of our officers and employees and our CERT members as well, and the reserve officers. They do a great job out there with us. But there's right after Halloween, you're going to have Halloween or Christmas at the Mill. Mm-hmm. I mean, as soon as Halloween's over, Christmas starts. So it's that time of year.
Well, we don't want to leave out Thanksgiving, but somehow Thanksgiving is a little different, isn't it?
Christmas, it seems like it starts sooner every year, but yeah, Thanksgiving, you can tell if you know me, I enjoy that holiday as well. But,
yeah. Well, you're hiring dispatchers. Are you hiring otherwise at the police department right now?
Certified officers, which right now we're getting certified officers from all around the country.
And we're also hiring a facility guard right now. It's something else we're trying to hire. So essentially, you're security guard over some of our city buildings. And then, as Officer Clark said, certified officers. So,
well, there are a lot of things we could talk about. You're involved in so many things. Are there any real traffic issues that we're facing right now, other than that seems like every week there might be another car or two that's on the highway, which means that traffic maybe is a little bit impeded, a little bit takes a little bit longer to get across town than it used to, and this sort of thing. You probably hear that all the time.
It definitely, all the time, and we experience that ourselves. It does take a little longer to get across town. Rush hour seems to start earlier and earlier every day, so it's one of those, plan accordingly and to get to your location, but it's also, we're seeing more and more. I-40 seems to be an issue in the mornings. I don't know if it's a timing issue with individuals, but we had a little stint here the past month where it was every morning we had some accidents out there, and fortunately, hopefully the counterparts that are listening don't get upset, but I hope that kind of, we're over that moment. That's it's not something people enjoy, sitting in traffic.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Well, now, speed is something you're concerned about, and excessive speeding, especially if it's excessive enough, warrants a citation or a ticket, as we call it. And I guess that's a necessary evil, so to speak.
Unfortunately, it is. I know in this time, the way life is, it's not necessarily our priority is to go out there and write everyone a ticket. It may just be an educational moment when we stop you to slow down and maybe bring your awareness to what you were doing. So I hope that everyone we run across does not get that ticket, but yes, sometimes that's what they get.
But sometimes you do see in a particular area, it seems an excessive number of accidents, and I don't know that speed is always a cause of that, but a lot of times it is involved. People were speeding and accident results, and it seems like when that happens in a particular area, it gets a lot more attention from the patrolman.
It does, and those are things we focus on, but a lot of it it's not even the speed all the time, it's distracted driving. We really see more and more of that nowadays, and you really look at it, we most of us, everybody's got cell phones. You've got children or whatever you're paying attention to besides the road at that moment. So that's really something you need to focus on is paying attention.
One of the things we really bear down on at start of school every year, just to remind everybody, because it's usually been 8 or 9 weeks since there was many school buses and school zones and all of this. But then once we get going, we kind of settle into a pattern. Then we got a 2-week break like right now. Is more attention given that right at the start of school, or do you pay attention to that about the same diligence the whole school year? I'm just wondering.
I say we pay attention through the whole school year. We may here in other locations, you probably hear about it more at the beginning of school year, but as the police department, we really try to focus on it throughout the year. And as you said, fall break's finishing up this week, so everybody's had a 2-week break here with the Lebanon schools and for the school zones. But yeah, definitely be cognitive that next week the school zones will be active again. Please watch for children, watch the bus signs, when the stop sign comes out, depending on if you're on a divided highway or not. Watch for children trying to cross the road. They will shoot out right in front of a school bus, and that's the last thing we want.
Sometimes, and especially these smaller children that just don't think, and you kind of need to be extra aware so that they don't get harmed.
They're excited to get off that bus, get home, so they take off running as soon as that foot hits the ground. So it's watch out for the kids.
Well, we've all been there and kind of been that way, and life is a learning experience. But if you're older and mature, try to acknowledge that and realize they may not be thinking and that and doing just like they should because of their exuberance and getting home or whatever.
You got the young ones are excited, so they're not focusing on your driving. That's where watch out for being distracted in your speeds.
Well, any other thing we need to talk about necessarily? We've always got the drug trafficking, and then you got a department that addresses that. We don't hear a lot about that unless there's a big drug bust or something of that nature, or maybe a big trial that comes up where somebody is put up for a while for doing something they shouldn't be doing, but that's something we deal with all the time.
It is, and I think I've said it, and I even hear, but drugs are always a problem, and addictions and whatever you're dealing with at the moment. But if you know of any way to help someone, change has to happen. You've got to completely change if you're addicted to something. So it's just being able to ask for help. But yeah, the drug issue is still an ongoing thing.
And we're hearing way too many suicides as I think is related in that way, and that's just that's just terrible. I don't want to end on that negative a note here. Zach, what's something else you might like to talk about this morning?
Well, like I said, I know we already talked about it, but we've got these community events coming up, and we're going to be at a lot of them, and it's just a good time to come see your first responders in a positive light, because a lot of times, unfortunately, you see our officers and firefighters and people from WEMA on bad situations, on a bad time in your life, whether it be a wreck, house fire, victim of a crime. But you can come out to these events and see them firsthand as people. And we work with some of the best first responders in the county. So like I said, I just encourage you to come out to these community events, come say hello, meet your first responders, meet the people that's trying to protect you against crime and helping you in your worst moments. So to end on a positive note.
And if you're employed and want something that might be different, you can see what's available at the police department.
Yeah, check out.
You need some dispatchers.
Yeah, we need some dispatchers, hiring some certified officers, and maybe a facility guard or two. So.
Well, by the way, this doesn't really pertain to you exactly, but Tuesday morning when Brian Hutto was here with the Lebanon Special School District, he had Officer Burton out here with that dog, which is something new. I guess you've heard a little bit about this.
We have Officer Van Treese, their officer right now. They work hand in hand in trying to interact and build relationships with the students in the schools. And that's just, as we've said, it's another opportunity for you to get to know officers and on a different light. And we do that with the children and adults at certain events. And as we said, Halloween at the square, the weather last year pushed it to the mill. That was a great opportunity. That was a huge event. We've got that coming up here in a couple of weeks. So we hope that the weather behaves and we're back out at the square this year and have another good event.
Well, it is good to have you both here with us this morning. I'm going to turn that down and somebody else can answer the phone here. I don't think that's supposed to ring. Somebody must have changed that. But anyway.
You could be dispatcher. You could answer the phone right now and take the call.
We are coming to the end of our segment here this morning, but it's good to have you both, and I hope you stay safe and do your job well and keep everybody informed, as well as all the other things that go with being a part of the Public Information Office here for Lebanon. Zach, good to see you. Thanks
yes, sir,
so
always.
And, Officer Richard Clark, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next month. All right. That is part one of Coleman & Company. We've got more, so we hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and get $50 off, $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still tied up at the intersection of George L. Davis Boulevard and Martin Luther King on that earlier crash. Traffic's on the increase even more in the last 10-15 minutes. Here on 24 coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, up through the Hickory Hollow area. Trying to clear up that earlier crash. Jones Parkway at Cloverland Drive, that's in the Brentwood area. Still running slow 40 east to Kingston Springs from that earlier crash. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken is hiring in all locations. You can check out more information online at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The refreshing cool after coming in from a hot summer day. The perfect temperature to kick off your shoes and relax with a good book. When the weather heats up, a new Rheem AC system will surround your family in total comfort. Are you feeling it? Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Are you thinking about buying a new home? Let A.G. & Johnson assist you with your new home search. From the first-time home buyer to the empty nester, we are experienced in all facets of the home buying process. We will be with you every step of the way. No matter if you are buying, selling, downsizing, or upsizing, we can assist you with your real estate needs. Call us at 615-444-0909 or find us online at agandjohnson.com or Facebook A.G. & Johnson Realty. A.G. & Johnson is your community's trusted realty and auction company.
When it comes to Medicare plans designed to meet your needs and budget, there's no place like Farm Bureau Health Plans. We've got Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare Supplements, Part D, dental, vision, designed with folks like you in mind. Visit our office at 214 North Castle Heights here in Lebanon. You can see Charlotte Webster for your Medicare or other health plan needs. You can always get a quote for auto, home, life insurance, and also commercial insurance. And again, West Dugan, Farm Bureau, Castle Heights office.
Hey, this is Paul with Bates Ford, and we got some great deals for you. Ford is offering free pickup and delivery. That's right, free pickup and delivery. If you need your vehicle service, give us a call at Bates Ford. We'll come pick it up, service it, and deliver it back to you free of charge. We got $39.95 oil changes, meter beat anybody's price on tires, cheapest battery in town. On the sales side, we've got 0% interest is back. We've got a great new and used inventory on www.tonybatesford.com. That's Bates Ford, the dealer that will trade for anything that don't eat.
Hope that you are enjoying the last of the 70s we'll see for quite some time. Sunshine and a high just shy of 80 for the day today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies down to 57. A cold front moves through Middle Tennessee tomorrow. Could drop our highs next week into the 50s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Give top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com, where they know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
And good morning. We continue here on this Thursday morning. It's time for us to talk with our friends at A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction. Jay White is here. Helene Cash is here. A.G. & Johnson is located at 728 West Main. And Their website, www.agandjohnson.com, and that telephone number is 615-444-0909. All right, Jay, what you got?
Good morning, Coleman.
Good morning. I heard you last week. You had 3 or 4 different auctions.
We did. We've had 3 or 4 this week too, and we're glad to have them. But with this tonight, here on October the 12th, tonight, this afternoon, and we're going to be down on Underwood Road, down in the Glade community, down in the Glade. It does have a Mount Juliet address, but I like to call it, we're down in the Glade. We're down at the Glade. It's off of Couchville Pike, the best way to get there. And just turn down there on Underwood Road. We're selling 2 tracts of land down there, 11 acres total. It's mostly wooded. It does have utility water out there, but I mean, if you want to come out, you can get a nice wooded tract of land in a great location on the west side of the county, and it's just in a growing community out there. But if you're looking for a little space to build a building or have a recreational piece of property, come out this afternoon at 6 o'clock out on Underwood Road. We'll be selling out there at this location tonight at 6 o'clock. So come out and be with us if you're looking for some acreage out in the Gladeville area. And then Saturday morning on October the 14th, we're going to come back. We're coming back into town. We're going to be located right in the middle of town, right off West Main on Westmead Drive here in Lebanon, right across from where the old Walmart used to be. Yeah. I guess, you got to go back a few years to remember that, I guess, but I can still remember Big K.
Oh, yes, me too, yeah.
But anyway, we're right there off Westmead Drive in Lebanon. We're selling a little ranch-style house. It does need a little rehabbing work, but if you're in a renovation project, come out and be with us. Take a look at it. It doesn't need a lot, but it does need some renovation. So come out and be with us there. We're also going to have some personal property to sell. If you're interested in having any likes and some antiques and those sort of things, come out. It will start at 10 o'clock. We will, but just a nice little house out there.
It's a quiet street.
It is. It's a dead-end street right here in town. You can't ask for a better location.
Oh, it's close to everything.
It really is.
Yeah.
You just can't ask for a better location. You can walk to the grocery and walk to the pharmacy, but still you've got the quietness and you really don't have anybody in the backyard. I mean, it's on a large lot. So come out and be with us. And then the following Saturday on October the 21st, we're going up on Linwood Road in the Watertown community, just between Lebanon and Watertown. It's not very far out, but we're going to sell it's 60 acres up there. We're offered it in five separate tracts, but it's just a beautiful, pristine farm up there. It has a antebellum kind of an 1850s a farmhouse on it. It's got barns and ponds and rolling hills. I mean, if you're looking for a country setting close to town, you need to come out and take a look at these lots.
This is amazing.
Yeah, and we'll talk again about that, I'm sure, next
We will
when you're here.
We will.
We will. Helene, you got anything in particular this morning?
This farm.
You love it.
When I pulled up to it, I did not know this existed in Wilson County. Just pulled up to it, and I just had to stand there in awe. This farmhouse is incredible. The barns, the community, it's just absolutely amazing. So you don't want to miss this auction on the 21st.
All right. Well, there's three good ones, and I'm sure you've got more scheduled.
We do. Coming up in November, we are having another county surplus sale coming up in November. So I know we had a good turnout last year for that, and we're going to be selling a lot of vehicles and a lot of some heavy equipment, and also all types of things out at the fairgrounds coming up in just a few weeks. So kind of keep that in mind, and we'll be keeping you posted on that in the near future.
I was asked recently when we're selling buses again.
That's great.
But whatever your real estate needs are, you've got somebody in that office that can help.
Absolutely have an agent for you, whether you're upsizing or downsizing. If you're looking for an investment property or commercial property, we have an agent for you.
All right, you give them a call,
615-444-0909.
Community trusted since 1977. A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction. Well, Jay White, Helene Cash, thanks for being with us.
Thank you,
we'll see you
Coleman.
next time.
Thanks, Coleman.
We're about 22 minutes before the hour, and got really a special guest this morning. And I'm going to go to the telephone right now. Congressman John Rose is with us this morning, and we've had some great discussions over the years. It's always a pleasure to have him. I'm not sure we've ever had a more timely time to talk to our congressman than this morning, with all that's going on in the world and all that's happening in Washington, D.C. Congressman John Rose, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Thanks for having me on Coleman and Company this morning. And as always, I want to begin by saying it's a great honor to serve the people of the 6th District of Tennessee.
Well, it's an honor for us to have you with us, and that you are able to take time to be with us here, at least on a quarterly basis. But I want to get right to it. What's happening with the Speaker of the House situation right now?
Well, so as you've probably heard in reports, yesterday afternoon, we completed, I guess you would say, the process of selecting a nominee from the Republican conference, and that is Steve Scalise from Louisiana. He has been in leadership for some time, currently serving as the majority leader in the House, and he was selected in a fairly close election to be the nominee of the conference. And so once we adjourned, the status is that he's working through the membership to make sure that he can secure the 217 votes that he would need to get elected as Speaker on the floor. I think the hope and the goal is to avoid the multiple ballots that we saw back in January. So I think he will be trying to work to get commitments from members of the Republican conference to support him on the floor in his bid to be elected as Speaker of the House.
Well, I understand there was another congressman who was actually, it had been kind of predicted that he might get this. Just wondered if you had a preference necessarily there that you want to talk to us about, or tell us a little bit more maybe about this gentleman, how you think he might be if he succeeds.
Sure. So in fact, I did support Representative Jim Jordan from Ohio. Congressman Jordan, many people will know him through recent years, has been very active, very outspoken on many issues, and currently serves as the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, which is one of the principal committees leading the impeachment inquiry at present and doing a lot of the oversight of the Biden administration and leading the impeachment inquiry of President Biden. And Congressman Jordan is well known as a member of the so-called Freedom Caucus. And I frankly was in the end impressed by his vision for work as Speaker, and persuaded that he would be the best choice and take us in a little bit different direction. So in fact, I actually supported him in my vote yesterday in the conference. He came up about 10, 12, 14 votes short of what Leader Scalise got. However, I have also already committed to Leader Scalise that I would support him on the floor.
What are the chances of this being settled quickly here and getting down to business?
Well, I don't know. You probably saw some of the news reports coming out yesterday, if you're following this, that indicated that Leader Scalise is having trouble with a handful of members, as I think has been well reported and documented over this throughout this year. The Republican majority, we do have a majority in the House. However, it is a very slim majority. At present, it's 221 members. It takes 218 in a full House. There are currently 2 vacancies. So right now, the winning number on the House floor is 217. So you can do the math. That means we have a slim 4-seat margin, which means with respect to counting votes on this race for the Speaker, the Leader Scalise, if he's going to be elected with only Republican votes, and right now that looks like that would be the case, he would have to secure 217 of that 221. And at last report, there are as many as 15 or so that have not given him that commitment or have indicated that they're not currently satisfied with that choice. So that's going to mean there's going to have to be some discussions, and ultimately those folks are going to have to come around, or there'll have to be a compromise of some sort. And at least so far, the Democrats have not shown any willingness to any of their members to cross lines and support a Republican leader. And so that would mean some sort of coalition effort that would probably mean compromises that Republicans would prefer not to make. And hopefully it won't come to that. Hopefully our Republicans will decide to stick together after all and support a single person. And certainly, I think the listeners all can appreciate that the Republican conference, has members representing a wide swath of the country and various districts that have different attitudes about the issues of the day. And so we have members who represent districts like I do, the 6th district, that are uniformly conservative, taken as a whole. And then we have districts where, in fact, President Biden won the 2020 election by double-digit numbers. And so that puts them in a different mindset in terms of what they're interested in and what they're able to do. What the problems that we've had this Congress, that the Republicans have been coming from the more conservative elements of the conference that have not been satisfied and want us to move faster in changing the way Washington works. And I'm supportive of moving faster. We need to address the major challenges of our time. Most notably, I would tell you the budget deficit and the debt that we've accumulated and the issues at the southern border and many others that need to be addressed. And we were making progress on those, in my view. And so it's unfortunate that we find ourselves kind of sidelined at the moment, unable to move forward with accomplishing the important business of the American people because we're fighting over who's going to be our leader. And I hope we can get past that quickly.
Okay, we thank you for being with us. We need to take a break right here. Congressman John Rose, we'll talk more after we go to this break. Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have a deal designed to keep you ahead of schedule. Check out the world's #1 selling compact excavator plus 0% financing. It's going on now until the end of the year. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still a heavy volume of traffic trying to get out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, headed towards Nashville through the Hickory Hollow area. It's crowded now, but it's moving through Mount Juliet as that traffic leaves Wilson County, headed towards Nashville through Hermitage. Traffic still holding up right now on 65 through Brentwood, Franklin. It does look a little bit better on 40 East through Kingston Springs, where that's been slow for a while on that earlier crash. Hey, enjoy Smoky Mountain Fall Festival now at Ober-Gatlinburg. It's going on through the end of the month. You got time. Check it out at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Woody Hunt, former head coach at Cumberland University of Baseball. I'd like to wish a happy 30th anniversary to WANT and WCOR Radio. Congratulations.
This is Mark Connor with the CRV Group. We want to wish WANT a happy 30th birthday and 30 more to come.
This is Tammy with All About Holidays, and I just wanted to wish Susie and everybody at WANT happy 30th anniversary.
This is Mark Hinesley with the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. We'd all like to wish WANT a happy 30th anniversary.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
I'm Michael Starr, a licensed local insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Lebanon, Tennessee. Choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing. Let me help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 615-830-4875 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment, virtually, by phone, or in person, to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Health Markets Insurance Agency Incorporated is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll.
Fiddler's Grove Historic Village invites you to the 13th annual Ghost in the Grove event on Friday the 13th and Saturday the 14th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the James E. Ward Ag Center. Storytellers will share history with a spooky ending. Take a mysterious trolley ride deep into the dark woods. Great family fun, food, and treats. $11 for adults 17 and over, $6 for ages 6 to 16. Discount tickets available online at fiddlersgrovetn.com.
We continue here on this Thursday morning. And Congressman John Rose is on the phone this morning from Washington, D.C. and giving us his, I guess we could say, quarterly report here on Coleman and Company. But let's move away from the Speaker of the House thing. That is still up in the air. We'll find out when it happens, I guess. But, of course, what happened last Saturday and over in Israel and the Hamas invading Israel and all of this is, I think now between 20 and 25 Americans have died as a result of this, and a lot of world attention is focused there. And it's got to have a bearing on your thinking and what's going on in Washington right now.
It does, and it very much points out the need for stable and decisive American leadership to the degree that that's called for in this situation. We know that a number of Americans, I think as many as 20-some, 22 at last count, that have been confirmed that have died in the really scurrilous attacks by Hamas on Israel. And I think everyone has to keep in mind that Hamas is a terrorist organization. They have seized control some time ago and have effectively been the governing force in this area called Gaza, which is one of the disputed areas that they control. And really they have been a group that's been incompatible with their neighbor and refuse to recognize Israel's right to exist as a country, and they are constantly attacking Israel. And obviously the scope and scale of this attack is well in excess by magnitude given the size of Israel to what we experienced on 9/11. So this is truly a 9/11 type event for Israel and a real threat to the very existence of that country. And so we're watching that closely. Obviously the administration has taken some steps after the fact to try and assist Israel, but lots of concerns in Washington about why this was missed, both by the Israeli government and their officials, and why the United States, from an intelligence perspective, was not able to identify this threat and the plan for this attack and hopefully prevent it. And so we've got some, investigation that will have to be done. But right now, the real important thing is to secure the borders of Israel and make sure they have what they need to be successful in doing that, and then also to be taking account of who's been lost and who have been kidnapped. Apparently, a large number of people kidnapped, 17 Americans that remain unaccounted for by news reports, and so there is a lot of concern here in Washington about our ally Israel, the only democracy in the Middle East and one of our most steadfast allies around the world.
Well, I take it that you are one who very much supports Israel. Any comment or any criticism even of the Biden administration and their handling, their action once this happened last week?
Well, I don't. I think they were maybe a little slow to respond, and initially came out and have said some things like, well, let's not let this get out of hand or escalate, or we hope that Israel will follow the rules of war. And as we've seen from the graphic reports, certainly the Hamas terrorists that came into Israel, they showed no regard for any such thing as a rule of war. I won't go into the horrific actions that they've taken, but it really would, makes you gasp when you hear some of the things they've done, some of the most, awful things that we could imagine that one person could do or people could do to other people. And so, that's a concern. I think that the administration, the Biden administration, and the president himself need to be very, very clear. There are some members of the Democratic Party who are apologists for Hamas and for the Palestinians more broadly, and so this is no time for that. And I think we have to look over the long arc of the Biden administration back over this 2.5-year period and see what they've done. They've allowed Iran to begin to export oil, despite the fact that there are sanctions to prevent that, and those sanctions haven't been lifted, but the Biden administration has failed to enforce them, and that has resulted in Iran reaping billions of dollars in oil revenue. And the reason that matters for everyone listening is that Iran is the primary financial supporter and sponsor of Hamas. And so this is being paid for by oil money coming out of Iran. And of course, we also heard the recent report, which is also unacceptable, that the president negotiated the release of a handful of American hostages in return for releasing about $6 billion in Iranian assets that were being held by the United States. And so, this financial support to Iran ultimately makes its way to Hamas in one form or another and, helps to essentially underwrite the cost of organizing Hamas and supplying them with the rockets that they're firing into Israel and the weapons that are being used in this attack on Israel. And so that's a real concern.
All right, I want to switch gears a little bit here. We came, I don't think we were going to have it, but we could have had a shutdown if we hadn't had some sort of an agreement that took place there, but we still need to pass a budget. We just kicked the can down the road a little ways, I think, but let's discuss that a little bit this morning, Congressman.
Sure. So, going back now, what seems like a long time ago, with all the events that have occurred, we came up on September 30th is when the government's fiscal year ends, and neither the House or Senate had completed our work with respect to appropriations. We're ahead of the Senate on the House side, and so by September 30th, we had passed 4 of 12 regular appropriations bills, but it's important to note that those 4 represent about 72% of the funding of government. Now, that doesn't mean they're passed and in place fully. This just means the House has done our work, and unfortunately, the Senate has not done any of its work. That is not an unusual occurrence to find ourselves in that case, in that situation. That is for Congress to be in that situation. In fact, since 1977, there have only been 4 years in which Congress has actually gotten its work done on time. So not a very good track record. The last time it happened was 1996. So this was not a new development. This is more the norm than not. And so what Congress does in those cases historically is to pass what's called a continuing resolution, which is a bill that passes through Congress and signed by the president that basically says we'll continue to fund government at the current level for what has been done over the previous period of time, the previous year in this case, until we get this worked out. And so Republicans tried to pass a number of very conservative approaches to that. Our more conservative members would not support any of those, ironically. And so it came down then on that Saturday, September 30th, to what many people would call a clean continuing resolution, which was to not change really anything. In this case, it did include some disaster funding because disaster funds had run out with many of the issues that had come up through the summer. And so it did include a supplemental amount for disaster relief for those areas that have suffered from incidents. And so that ended up coming to the floor, and the then Speaker McCarthy brought that to the floor. It passed through the House on a bipartisan basis. It's interesting to note that the Democrats initially tried to oppose that, but ultimately they relented and supported that, and it passed with many Democratic votes, and a majority of the Republican conference voted for it. I voted against it because I was in favor of being more conservative and felt like we were missing an opportunity to extend the government's funding on a more conservative basis. And so we are operating under that for 45 days, takes us out to, I think, around November the 17th or so. And so we've got work that needs to be done right now. Still, the Senate has not progressed over these last 2 weeks, and the House obviously has been stopped in our tracks because when we came back the next week, then that's when the motion to vacate the chair and the removal of our speaker took place. And so we can't meet and we can't conduct business until we elect a new speaker.
All right, we've got about a minute. I just wondered, any particular thing you're hearing from your constituents here, any one issue that's head and shoulders above the others, or a pretty big variety of things?
It's a variety of things, but I think if there's one that really stood apart from the others, it is, concerns about the border security. We see a lot being said in even the northern liberal sanctuary cities that have had all they can take at this point, and this president refuses to take the steps that he needs that he could to get the border under control. One positive piece of news there last week was that he does, after pledging not to build the wall, he's now relented and is indicating that he's going to build a portion of the complete a portion of the border wall. So people are concerned about that. It's impacting every city across the country. And then lastly, I would mention inflation. The American people continue to be hammered by the runaway inflation that's risen up over the last 2 years.
All right, Congressman, always good to have you. I appreciate you taking time to be with us today. We've covered a lot of territory. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we'll remind everybody we'll be here tomorrow if all goes well. And thanks for being with us today. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.